is Flashstep from Blight Gaming. I'm here with another video. So someone recently asked me like how they should be playing ramp on Nuke. Actually, a pretty good question because I've seen like recently like a lot of players kind of like play it questionably. So your main mentality if you're a ramp player should always be that you want to be falling and then falling into lower, right? With a couple exceptions. So I'll start off the round by saying every single time you come here, you should always have your support player that's going to be playing here, then rotating off, throwing the smoke for you. And you can dump a flash here if you feel like you want to or not, and then picking the spot you want to play, right? There's like a couple spots you should be playing and some that you should never be playing. I don't think most of the time you should be playing behind this smoke unless you have like a hard read on them just like coming through with pistols or something. But even at that, it's risky as hell. Your better angles for ramp are always going to be right here. I like the second angle here, but a lot of the time it gets pre-fired nowadays, and usually you just kind of like take a 1v1 fight that they win because of peeker's advantage. Because there's no angle like a terrorist has to peek when he's coming up here after he's cleared right here, so he just snap looks right here a lot of the time. And he's moving, so it's really hard to track him as he's coming across your screen. The other angle too is like playing like right here, so that you just can get the first shot off, try to get one frag, and then come down lower quick. So that should be like your mentality, right? It's like get the first shot off, hopefully get a kill, fall down. Because a lot of the time, unless you guys have a hard read, your player that's right here isn't here that often. He's towards heaven or outside or wherever he wants to float. So, and that being said, in situations where you know they're coming ramp, so a lot of the times on default, if a team has this very methodical default, they'll come ramp late into the round, or like the first thing they'll take control of is ramp, right? So then at that point, it's up to you as a ramp player to be like, hey guys, they're taking ramp every single time first. Let's do a stack. A stack resulting in like one outside, one upper playing retake from heaven, and then 3 towards ramp. Or you can have 2 on a crossfire. I'd recommend 3. So what you do is like most of the time you have 1 boosted, 1 all the way back here, and then a third player that's like wherever he really wants to play it from. Usually right here so he can swing across and help, or like right here waiting for them to come across to try to pinch him. Just knowing the difference between like when you should be falling and calling for a stack is huge. There are very few times where you should be pushing through, and it's only into like later rounds, like round 5 to 7, maybe 4, if you like 4th gun round, not the very first gun round, right? Where if you have like a hard read on them going towards like executing upper or executing outside or going outside fast, then you can walk up and you're like most of your best angles to play are just waiting for them to come back towards radio here, or obviously just walking through and pushing. So that's like the overall mentality you should have when you're playing ramp. Another thing that people were asking me though is like where do you fall once you go down? So there's like a couple spots. It just kind of all depends on like what you have as rotation wise, right? For example, like our team sometimes has a setup where if I feel like they're coming down ramp fast and they're coming to lower, we have someone snap rotate the vents. He picks up the vents and watches this, right? I come down here to this B right here, and then I spot this over here. Most people don't clear this properly, so you get a free kill here, and you can support your player that's watching vents. I mean, from vents watching here. Another thing, if you feel like they don't know if they're going to be coming down fast because they go silent, because a lot of the time it's only to control this to go silent so that they have more map control. Some of your better spots are just like playing it much more passive and like just playing as the anchor kind of, right? So you come like back silo on top or on bottom. I would recommend going bottom side unless you know they're not coming down, because like if you're trying to run across this entire railing, like if they chase you, if they decide to chase you at any point when you're doing this, they can catch you out of transition and then kill you. So I would say just take the ground and then also use your utility to backpedal. When I say use utility, like if you haven't used your molly yet, you know they're going to be coming out towards ramp and you're playing, for example, this angle. Take your shot as you're falling, snap out your molly that off, gives you a lot more time to go on the right hand side. Another thing you can do that I actually kind of enjoy every once in a while is coming to the door, right? You're kind of dedicating towards lower, but a lot of people have been play it like this, right? This is not the best way to play it. If you play it from this corner looking towards this corner, they really can't see your gun. Like, watch, I'll show you how it looks. Oops. So you play in the corner just looking right here, they can't see it at all. So they open, say it's clear, and then they close it again most of the time when one person comes in where you kill him. Door closes, you wait for plant, then you open and kill and where you close. It's a really tricky spot because most people never wide clear that. Dark spot really isn't like a good option in my opinion most of the time, because you really want your vent guy to be able to rotate to watch that. So there's no point in you playing here unless you're like playing lower for them to come to secret, which is something that the ramp player has to do a lot of the time. If they're going outside to secret, he has to snap rotate to kind of like get control of it, and then like the heaven guy can rotate towards like ramp to watch to make sure they come in, or you just kind of give up ramp in general because ramp isn't that important. Door angle lower is really strong as long as they're not accustomed to pre-firing it and whatnot. Another really strong angle is just on the stairs right here, because it's really hard for them to clear that. Like they're going to be transitioning on to you, like moving, right? But it's like such a straight angle that they're really not wide peeking anything, so it's an easy shot. You'll see them first. Sync's always a pretty strong option if you're rotating down. And when I mean sync, I mean like this angle right here. Again, using these stairs is really strong. Make sure they can't get to the vents. And then also if you want to spot like this to make sure they know they're crossing, take your shots and come down. Don't take too much of a fight there because it is an advantageous angle for them if they have 2 or 3 coming at you. So I guess like the real like mentality behind ramp is just like being able to know when you need to stack, fall, and aggress, which is like why I think most ramp players need to be more experienced. They have to have like a set linear guideline of like what they're doing each round to make sure that you don't get lost in like those type of play styles, right? Like on rounds that you need to be falling, you should not be like hesitating and getting aggressive because then you'll just like lose around for your team. Or if you're falling way too much right before they even have ramp, then you're making your CTs go into a setup that's probably not good for them because they're not delegating to go ramp. Once they've dedicated like 2 or 3 players to like take ramp, the CTs can really transition into a lot of setups because they're going on ramp and then later transition back into something where like your lower guy says, okay, I think they heard them walk away towards hut or something, or like run to hut. You can re-aggress towards ramp, get the one guy here who's posted, kill him with your like your rotator, and then take ramp control again and play default. So a lot of communications need to play ramp. Words of advice, I mean, other than what I just said throughout the video, is just like know when to fall and pick your fights wisely. I hope it helps somebody. Thanks for watching.